Yo, what is going on, YouTube? It's your boy John, aka Speros here. In today's YouTube video, we're going to be going over the settings that you guys need to be using in Warzone, but more specifically, there's 3 settings that almost nobody talks about in any settings video that has been kind of secret sauce, I guess, on the Warzone competitive side of things. These 3 settings are going to help you have stickier aim assist over range, and overall just increase your movement and aim assist all around. It's going to make you into a certified demon. I hope that you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's any other secret settings that I may have missed. Anyway, guys, let's get into the settings. All right, the first thing, if you guys are on PC, obviously you want your aiming input device to be set to controller. The rest of that isn't really too important. In the button layout, I do play on tactical. It's where you slide and crouch with your right stick. This makes slide canceling a lot easier. In addition to that, I do play with my controller vibration off. All of this is off and whatnot. If you guys are playing on a PS4 controller or even a PS5 that doesn't have digital tap triggers or bumpers, definitely recommend playing on flipped. Now, this is where we get into the first secret sauce thing that a lot of pro players use, that not a lot of average people or average players know about. When you get into your dead zones, obviously you could test your stick dead zones to see where, you know, if you have any stick drift, stuff like that. So I play on 3-3. I get a little bit of stick drift every now and again, but the secret is putting your left stick to 75. It basically is going to make your character move a little bit faster than if it was at 100, because it's reaching out to that outer dead zone a little bit faster. So what that does is, while you're shooting, if you have, you know, your hand on your left stick and you're moving even a little bit, your aim assist gets cranked up. Your rotational aim assist, it's insane. Definitely try this out. You could even bump this a little bit lower. I've played with it on 50 before. I've been rocking 3 and 75 just as a preference. My right stick, obviously, again, you want to just keep going till you don't get stick drift. I got it on 3. You want your max right stick to be at 99 or 100. It doesn't matter which one, but do not start moving this one lower. This is, if you move it lower, it's going to mess up all your shots. Everything's going to be messed up. Leave the right stick at 99 or 100. Getting into the aiming, I do play 6-6. In addition to that, I do play on dynamic response curve. My response curve is at full. You obviously could play at whatever sensitivity you want. Again, 6-6, just what I use. On the custom zoom per sensitivity, I do play 6-6. My 180s, my low zoom. So this is going to be my subs, my iron sight ARs, all the kind of stuff. If you guys are having trouble with hitting shots and getting the kind of your aim assist getting stuck on the target, try bumping this down so you get a little bit more aim assist. It just makes it so way, obviously, when you're ADS, you can move a little bit more without getting penalized. It makes recoil control a lot easier. 2 to 3x I like it on 0.85. 4 to 5 is 0.85. 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and then high zoom, they're all a little bit higher as well. As you can see, target aim assist, you obviously want to have it on. I've been messing around with playing between Black Ops and default. Right now I'm rocking Black Ops. That's just what I prefer with the MTZ, with the iron sights. You obviously, again, you want to have your aim assists turned on. This is another secret setting, and you could say it's placebo, you could say it doesn't matter, but listen, there's a couple of pros, I'm not going to name their names, but they swear by this setting. A couple of Warzone pros. So if you go into your motion sensing aiming, obviously all of this is going to be default. It's going to be off most likely, but for some people the FOV sensitivity scaling is turned on. For most people it's by default. I believe because I came from Caldera, transported my settings to Warzone 2, and then went from Warzone 2, transported my settings to this, that my FOV scaling has been turned off. Mine has been turned off this entire time, but pretty much everybody I tell this to has it on. You're going to want to turn this off. This is one of those settings. Again, if it does anything, I don't know, because obviously motion sensing behavior is off. But listen, a lot of pro Warzone players are swearing by this, saying that it makes your aim assist insanely sticky, all that kind of stuff. Try it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't touch anything else. Just FOV sensitivity scaling. Turn it off. In addition to that, the other stuff, obviously you want automatic tack split. If you're gonna want slide maintain sprint turned on. It's gonna make your movement so much smoother. Ground mantle, automatic airborne, and automatic ground mantle hang, turn that off. You never want to get stuck on stuff just while you're moving around the map. Plunging behavior, I like mine on free. I don't play on hybrid. Hybrid is nice. I do think it's good. I just don't see myself needing to dive very much, so I still personally play on slide only. I feel like the hybrid, in intense situations, I tend to squeeze my controller and I would end up diving by accident, so I left mine on slide only. Sprinting door bash I have turned on. Ledge climb behavior, obviously I have it on movement based. Unfortunately, you know, I don't know, I don't like the ledge hang. I wish there was an off option. Like I just don't want to hang on the ledge. It's just the silliest thing to me, but it is what it is. Another thing that you guys can go ahead and make sure is changed is your weapon mount exit delay. Turn that to instant. Anything that you could do to make this faster, honestly, I probably am going to turn it off. I guess there is no delay then, which is good. So you learn something new every day. I'm gonna just go ahead and turn it on off. Tactical stance activation, obviously ADS. Tac stance behavior, I have it on respawn. So basically, if you hit a zip, if you go tac stance, hit a zip, get off the zip, your tac stance won't reset. In addition to that, if you guys want, you can actually turn the ability to turn on tac stance. You can actually turn that off in Warzone, so you won't accidentally go into tac stance. I do think tac stance is nice and useful when you're using a shotgun, so I leave the ability to turn it on. Interact, you obviously want to have this on prioritize interact. I have armor plates apply 1. I pretty much just hold down my triangle if I need to put on all my armor plates. Directional buttons on the backpack control completed. All of this stuff is pretty standard. The manual fire, this is a setting that kind of got some attention. Basically, if you press and hold, it will turn your single fire gun full auto. Test it out for yourself. It shoots really, really, really slow, so I don't recommend it at all. Like, my grandma could shoot faster than the freaking hold setting. It's more of an accessibility thing. Maybe you have you know, a disability or something that you can't, you know, press the trigger that fast, or, you know, whatever. It's just kind of more of an accessibility thing. So I do recommend having it on press. Obviously free look, melee, all that kind of stuff. Again, ping wheel delay, I have mine turned off. And outside of that, that's pretty much it for the controller. If you guys are on controller and you guys are on PC, another little secret sauce that you can do. If you go over to your keyboard and mouse settings, go down to your keybinds. Again, this is only if you're on controller, and I guess you also have to have some sort of foot pedal to use, but you can actually ping with your foot pedal. So mine is left alt. So when I'm in game, I can shoot. I just have my left foot pedal and then I'm pinging people. So it's just another thing. If you want to use it, you can. If you're not on PC, then I mean, you're just kind of out of luck. It is useful. It's not that useful, but it's one of those things. It's one of those weird things that I do. So if you guys want, that's also there. Getting into the graphic settings, full screen exclusive. Again, I am on a 4090 13900K, like top of the line PC type thing, or what was top of the line a while ago. It might still be, but I mean, I get plenty of frames, so I don't even care. So that's going to be my settings. Obviously, use these as a jumping off point, but if you guys are having some trouble in game, I might be able to answer some of your questions just by watching this section. Obviously, refresh rate, you want this to match what your monitor is. Full screen exclusive, I never tab out or anything like that, so you want the, you know, full screen exclusive, just what you want. Least input delay as well. Aspect ratio, I like setting mine instead of on automatic. I like it at 16.9. Getting into the rest of this, and video reflex low latency, you want this on plus boost. I would just keep it on plus boost, less input delay. VSync, all that kind of stuff is off. Custom frame rate, this is just what I like mine. The gameplay should always be matching whatever your refresh rate is on the monitor. So mine's 240 hertz. So I would have 240 custom refresh rate. Just in the menus, I don't really need to see having like crazy frames. So I just limit it. Menu render resolution, I have it on native. Pause game rendering off, focus mode, blah, blah, blah. All this HDR, definitely turn that off. If it's on, you'll get a lot more frames by having it off. Render resolution, if your game ever looks fuzzy, like the image on the left, make sure this is set to 100. Upscaling, you want this to fidelity FX CAS. This is basically sharpening, and you want it on 100. You can maybe go to 80, but I mean, I play it on 100 and everybody else does, so I just recommend going with 100. Ray tracing, definitely do not have this turned on. VRAM scale target, this is at 80 on my PC. Now, if you are playing Warzone and you're having in-game hitches that are not internet related, bump the VRAM scale target. I think it moves by 10. Bump it down 10. Because what this will do is it basically says, Call of Duty, you're only allowed to use 70% of the VRAM, which is good, because if you are hitching, it's because your PC hits that 100% utilization, whether it be your CPU or your GPU, it hits that utilization, and then your PC has to kind of de-stress for a second. So it causes those hitches, those little micro stutters, stuff like that. If you're having that, bump it down by 10. Yeah, you're going to get slightly less frames, but you'll have a much smoother experience overall. Variable rate shading, I leave this turned off. Again, these are just my settings. These aren't necessarily the best. This is just what I rock, because I like my game not only to look good, but I also get good frames as well. So high, normal, off, this should be off regardless. Have depth of field turned off. Detail texture quality or detail quality level low. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts, I like mine turned on. Persistent effects, I have that off. Shader quality is on low. On-demand texture streaming, this should be off. I like this on because it makes my camos look significantly better. Again, you want maximum performance, maximum frames. Make sure this thing is kicked off. If you want better looking camos, better looking stuff in game, turn this on. And I have mine set to 32. Local texture streaming quality is just on normal. Shadow quality normal. Screen space low. Ambient off. Screen space off. Static reflection quality low. Tessellation near. Volumetric low. Deferred off. Weather grid off. Water quality off. Getting into the view, this is how you're going to get less recoil. Everybody knows this by now. If you don't, well, you're welcome, because this is going to make you significantly better. Put your FOV to 120, basically zooms your character all the way out to get the real benefits of getting no recoil or lower reduced recoil. Is going to be playing on affected rather than independent. It just zooms you out even a little bit more, and then playing with your weapon field of view on wide. Again, just, I mean, it doesn't really do anything except for make your gun smaller when you're kind of just standing around, but with your gun being smaller, you're obviously able to see more, so put that on wide. 90 wide. World motion blur, this should 100% be turned off for everybody. Same with weapon motion blur, same with film grain. And then you want the least amount of movement happening on screen, so you're obviously going to turn that down to 50%. And that's pretty much everything for the graphics and the controller settings. If you guys are on console and you want to get slightly better visuals, you can go down to the interface and go to color customization. In here, you could put it on filter 2 and then set it to both, and then put it on 100. This basically just adds a slight filter to the game, makes it the colors pop a little bit more. I personally play obviously with this on and on both. And then in addition to that, I have my digital vibrance on my NVIDIA control panel turned up to 85. I have it at just normal brightness contrast, but 85 digital vibrance. So do with that information as you will. If you guys are having trouble kind of getting shots on target early on, you're going to want to go to your crosshairs and make sure that these are on static. By default, they kind of move around, bob and weave and stuff, but you want those on static so that way they don't move nearly as much. Basically, they just sit still in the middle of your screen. The center dot, you want that turned on. It's going to help with your centering and everything. And then default, the larger you go, the more awkward it is and the harder it is to kind of use at range. So if you do kind of have bad eyesight, obviously you could bump it up, but putting it on default, I think, is probably your best option. Other than that, the only other thing I would change is going into your HUD and your HUD bounds and putting them basically all the way closest to the middle, so that way your mini map and all the other important information is closer to the center of the screen, so you don't have to look quite as far. You still have to look a decent ways away to see the mini map and your ammo and your health, all that kind of stuff, but it makes it so it's just a little bit less. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I kind of ran through everything really quick. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. If I can't get to them, I'm sure somebody else down there will have the answer for you and be able to help you out. In addition to that, I do have my controller overclocked. I play on a 27-inch 1440p monitor, and other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. If you haven't already dropped a like, I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you guys are brand new around here. I'm gonna have more secret tips and tricks coming out in a future video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, have a fantastic rest of your day.